Hello everyone. I introduced the religious section of this channel by making a trinity out of science, philosophy and religion. I did that by using one of the inspirational ideas from Babylon 5. In my mind, Babylon 5 is one part of a science fiction trinity. The other two parts are Star Trek and Star Wars. All three of the parts of the Trinity present us with an incredible blend of fantasy, action and adventure. But they deal with the serious philosophical and religious questions of life as well. Star Trek is the least religious of the three, and Star Wars is the most religious. Babylon 5 sits somewhere in between. In this video, I'm going to look at one particular aspect of Babylon 5. In Babylon 5, there is an ancient race called the Shadows. 1,000 years ago, they were defeated in the last Great War. But now they have returned. In Season 3 and Season 4 of the show, the Shadows once again declare war on just about everyone. It is a holy war, because the Shadows cannot be reasoned with. And like a Terminator, they absolutely will not stop until they have achieved their goal. As a result, the humans and the other races have no choice but to rise to the challenge and fight back. The Shadows believe it is only through chaos and the struggle against it that other species can evolve to better themselves. Their goal is to sow seeds of chaos everywhere they can. And because harming and killing cause a great deal of chaos, the Shadows often do that. They are quite malevolent in the pursuit of their goal. So to summarize, the Shadows desire chaos, and they are evil. If you imagine the Shadows as being like a race of demons, or even jinn, you wouldn't be too far off the mark. In the opposing camp are another alien race, the Vorlons. The Vorlons see themselves as father figures, and unlike the Shadows, they are benevolent, but they desire order and discipline instead of chaos. This means that ideally everyone does as they're told, and if necessary, the Vorlons will use force to ensure that we all obey and comply. The Vorlons are therefore more like angels than demons. They are good, but they have no tolerance for opposing points of view. And in that way, they are a lot like the Shadows. It's a very interesting duality. In the show, the Vorlons and the Shadows do not fight directly. Instead, they carry out their work by interacting with other races. And they often do this secretly, operating behind the scenes. They influence others and guide them. It seems like you need both order and chaos, as they can both be beneficial. But too much of either one is bad for us. Having order and discipline is generally a good thing, but too much of it is not. For example, people in democratic countries do not, generally speaking, want them to become dictatorships. At the same time, chaos can be a good thing too. It challenges us because we must adapt to it. We must grow stronger and become more resilient. But if there's too much chaos, well then it's chaos. Everything breaks down, and the destructive forces of chaos become too much. The third member of this trinity is not a race of living beings. He is one being, and his name is Lorien. We are told that Lorien is the most ancient of all living things. The Vorlons and Shadows were two of the first sentient races, but Lorien's race was the first. And Lorien was the very first of his kind, and he is now also the last. Everything about him is explained as straightforwardly as possible, but it's all very strange. He's clearly a very mysterious character, and Michael Garibaldi in particular is very suspicious of him. I think that it's fairly obvious to the viewer that Lorien is like God, and the Vorlons are like angels, and the Shadows are like demons. So the whole idea is like Christianity, because there's a God, and there are angels and demons. But it's not like the Holy Trinity. In this case, God is singular, and it's the angels and the demons that make up the other two parts of the Trinity. In my opinion, Babylon 5 provides us with a realistic vision of the future. People live in the same way that we do, but the galaxy is a dangerous place. Almost all of the alien races hate each other, and although humans are not at war, they are divided politically. I find it interesting that Elon Musk has recently been criticising governments around the world, in particular those in Europe and the UK. His comments seem to be designed to get as much attention as possible and cause as much trouble as possible. It's as if he is trying to sow seeds of chaos, a little bit like the Shadows from Babylon 5. Let me know what you think.